Princess Sophie Alexandra of Bavaria attends an award ceremony in Munich. Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako of Japan host a luncheon in Tokyo. And Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco present medals in Fontvieille. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Friday, November 17th, 2023. In Fontvieille, their Serene Highnesses, Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco, accompanied by the Minister of the State of the Principality of Monaco, Mr. Pierre Dautou, on the occasion of Fête Nationale Monégasque, presented physical education and sports medals to 61 Monégasques during a ceremony at the Stade Louis II. The medals were presented to Monégasque athletes in recognition of his or her sporting career or commitment to the sporting life within the Principality of Monaco. Medals were also presented to outstanding coaches and volunteers. On Thursday afternoon, the Sovereign Prince attended the 5th edition of the Young Activists Summit, held at the Palace of Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. According to a press release, the Young Activists Summit aims to, quote, empower young changemakers advancing sustainability or human rights, and helps them achieve concrete results through visibility, networking, training, and fundraising. Every year, the summit honors a lineup of young activists from all over the world and their outstanding achievements. Organized in collaboration with the United Nations Office in Geneva, Radio Television Suisse, and the Graduate Institute, the summit provides laureates with a unique platform to raise awareness of their causes among youth and decision-makers. By bringing together young citizens from all around the world, the summit aims at reinforcing peace, cultural tolerance, and international cooperation. End quote. During the summit, 5 young activists from Myanmar, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Colombia, and India received medals from the Sovereign Prince, as well as a donation to help them continue to carry out various field projects. On Thursday, Her Royal Highness Grand Duchess Maria Teresa of Luxembourg presided over the presentation of the 2023 European Microfinance Award ceremony held at the European Investment Bank. Held under the theme Inclusive Finance for Food Security and Nutrition, 3 finalists were chosen out of 41 nominees. The winner of the award, which includes a cash prize worth 100,000 euros, went to the organization YICRI. According to the Cour Grand Ducal, the money will allow the organization to develop financial support and sustainable training for farmers in Burkina Faso. This morning, His Royal Highness Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg presided over the swearing-in of the new Prime Minister of Luxembourg, Luc Frieden, at the Palais Grand Ducal. The Grand Duke also presided over the swearing-in of the new Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Xavier Bettel, the former Prime Minister, and 13 ministers from the Christian Social People's Party and the Democratic Party of the new government. After the ceremony, the Grand Duke hosted a reception at the Palais. This morning, His Majesty King Philippe of the Belgians, accompanied by local government representatives, visited Dixmude in West Flanders to assess the damage caused by recent flooding. Thereafter, the King arrived at the Dixmude Crisis Center to attend a crisis meeting with representatives of the Belgian Emergency Management Services and local firefighters. On Thursday evening at Château de Lacan in Brussels, Their Majesties King Philippe and Queen Mathilde of the Belgians hosted a dinner for young people working in the home care sector to talk about their day-to-day jobs and the challenges they face at the professional level. Several times a year, Their Majesties host young people, all under the age of 35, representing various sectors of activity, for dinner at the Château. Their Imperial Majesties, Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako of Japan, and their Imperial Highnesses, Crown Prince Akishino and Crown Princess Kiko of Japan, hosted a luncheon at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo for the President and First Lady of Kyrgyzstan. According to the Imperial Household Agency, this is the first time in 4 years that a head of state has been invited for a traditional Japanese luncheon at the palace. On Thursday evening in Munich, Her Royal Highness Princess Sophie Alexandra of Bavaria and Her Imperial and Royal Highness Princess Sophie of Prussia attended the 75th Annual Bambi Awards, held at the Bavaria Filmstadt. Established in 1948, the Bambi Award is Germany's most popular media award. Quote, presented annually, the award honors the excellence in international media and television to personalities in the media, arts, culture, sports, and other fields with vision and creativity who affected and inspired the German public that year, both domestic and foreign. End quote. In Madrid, His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain presided over the swearing-in ceremony of Pedro Sánchez Pérez Castejón as a Prime Minister of Spain, held at Palacio de la Zarzuela. With his right hand on the Constitution, Mr. Sánchez Pérez Castejón said, quote, I promise, out of my conscience and honor, to faithfully fulfill the obligations of the position of Prime Minister of the government, with loyalty to the King, and to preserve and ensure the preservation of the Constitution as a fundamental norm of the state. End quote. And with that, Mr. Sánchez Pérez Castejón began his third term as Prime Minister. On Thursday, His Majesty King Carl Gustaf of Sweden and His Royal Highness Prince Carl Philip of Sweden attended the seminar entitled Sweden's Role Within the Framework of NATO's Deterrence, focused on the Baltic Sea area. The seminar, organized by the Academy of Military Sciences and the Royal Military Society, was held on the occasion of the King's Golden Jubilee. After a lovely luncheon, the King and the Prince visited Saab's shipyard in Karlskrona, where, quote, both submarines and combat ships are built, end quote. And finally, in London, Jean-Christophe and Olympia, Prince and Princess Napoleon, attended the UK premiere of Ridley Scott's epic drama, Napoleon, at the Odeon Luxe in Leicester Square. The film tells the story of a short Frenchman with a massive ego and anger issues who eventually becomes the Emperor of France and then sometime later finds himself on a barren island located in the middle of nowhere. And then he dies. The film Napoleon is not historically accurate, which is typical of Ridley Scott. Ever see the film Gladiator? The worst swords and sandals movie ever. There were so many historical inaccuracies, it was painful for me to watch. But others disagree. Anyway, so far, reviews for the film Napoleon have been mixed. Historians and respected film critics hate the film. One critic wrote, quote, Napoleon is frustratingly opaque with little sense of narrative propulsion, end quote. While another well-known film critic said, quote, while there are several stunning war scenes, Napoleon's screenplay combined with the erratic narrative structure ultimately leads to the film being a massive disappointment. Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby try their best to elevate the material, but sadly, they just aren't able to. There are certain lines of dialogue that are absolutely cringeworthy, and the film itself never gives the audience a reason why they should care or be interested in these characters or the journey that they are on. End quote. Here's just one example of many cringeworthy lines in the movie. Quote, this is Napoleon speaking, quote, destiny brought me to this lamb chop, end quote. In the coming weeks, I will have a complete review of Napoleon on my new show, Royal Cinema Sundays, which will begin next month. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I will be back tomorrow on Saturday, November 18th, with all the latest royal news. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Okay, again, have a wonderful Friday afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.